Good. Okay, hi everybody. Good morning, but it's good evening for Zheng-Ying. I'm actually very happy to have Zheng-Ying with me again. Time flies. I mean, last time I talked to Zheng-Ying, he was just about to start his new life in college, and now a year has passed, and Zheng-Ying is back to share what he has learned and experienced and has thought about during the past year in college. First of all, Zheng-Ying, you must have some imagination about what your college life would be like back when you were a high school kid. And then you actually went to Georgia Tech, and then you started your new life there. What was your biggest impact or idea, I mean, when you first started?
So growing up, I watched, well, first of all, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Really nice, again. But I think the biggest thing growing up was I watched a lot of YouTube videos regarding college. I watched a lot of people film their lives. So I had like an image of like, you know, a lot of studying, rushing to classes, trying to get up in time. And that was like my image of college. Also a lot of freedom, like for the first time almost. And I think for my first year, pretty much all that has been true. There's been a lot of rushing to classes, a lot of exams to study for. But it's also been really fun. I met a lot of cool people from all over the world. There's a pretty international population at Georgia Tech, so I've gotten to meet people from all over, and I think that's like played a big part in my first year being pretty fun.
And I heard that you've taken a lot of courses. Do you like the courses that you take, or is there any course in particular that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, so at Georgia Tech, unlike a lot of other colleges that have first-year engineering programs, we go straight into our major or our discipline.
Oh.
And so a lot of courses I took this year was straight electrical engineering, EE. And I think my favorite course was the one I took the semester I just finished. It was a signal processing course. And I think I'm going to be focusing on more on that specialty, maybe. Perhaps in the future. It really interests me, and there was a lot of hands-on labs and stuff we would do with MATLAB to go with it, so that was like probably my favorite class.
I'll translate a little bit. 大家今天其实能够听到是很幸运的，因为Zheng-Ying是 Georgia Tech 就是美国数一数二有名的乔治亚理工学院，就是很有名的如果是理工相关的话，这个是很有名的大学。然后Zheng-Ying念的就是电机工程相关的科系跟课程，所以刚刚Zheng-Ying说，在过去这一年，他实际上修了非常多的很专业的课就是跟我们台湾可能不太一样，就台湾可能大一的时候比较修一些 general courses， 比较像是理工科系入门的共通课但是他们实际上是从大一这一年就已经开始修很多很专业的课所以这一点Zheng-Ying说他就等于立刻开始接触很专业的东西，然后刚刚Zheng-Ying就说他可能对信号相关是有兴趣的，然后以后可能也会多修这方面的课。What about apart from your courses, I mean, apart from your academic study, what else have you been engaged in college?
So, more for the first semester, I was really involved in this club called High Tech Racing, which was an electric racing team club. And I was working with a lot of electrical hardware with that team. Towards second semester, I began focusing a lot on this research lab that I was a part of. We were building a magnetic field mapper. And so I was writing code for this machine we would build. That was basically a modified 3D printer that could map out the magnetic field at each point for a magnet that we put in the middle. So that was really cool. And I think those two experiences, high-tech racing and this research, it really gave me like perspective onto what I would maybe do if I were to work in these specific fields. So I think that was a really cool hands-on experience I had this year.
这你刚刚有说到说，其实除了专业的课程之外，其实他在课后的时间，他也是有参加所谓的社团，然后也是有在实验室里头，然后跟着其他的同学一起去做一些研究，或者做一些 hands-on experiences， 做一些很实际要动手操作的东西。比如说刚刚郑颖就说，他其实现在在做的是一个很类似修改过的 3D printer 的那样子的东西，然后用了一些元件，所以这个是郑颖这大一这一点就已经开始做的事情。Sounds like you have a really busy life. do you still get to eat and sleep?
I actually skipped breakfast a lot this year.
Okay.
But for the end of
Hope
semester,
your mom
I've
is
been
not
eating
listening.
3 meals. Yeah. So I lost like 10 pounds the first semester, probably because I didn't eat breakfast. And so second semester I began like making sure I was eating regular meals, 3 meals a day. But yeah, it's been kind of tough balancing everything. There's a lot of stress, but I try to use Google Calendar to map out everything. And then I try to like prioritize like sleeping and eating enough rather than like trying to do the next thing, because it can be a lot.
Your mom would be happy to know.
Yeah.
要跟大家说，郑颖刚刚描述的那个生活，大家应该有听出来，其实郑颖非常非常的忙碌，生活非常非常的充实。但是刚刚郑颖说，其实刚上大学的时候，he skipped breakfast， 就他是有不吃早餐，然后因为这样的关系，上学期其实瘦了10磅，就大概快5公斤，然后后来才 prioritize， 就开始觉得说吃和睡还是很重要，然后要好好过生活，在过充实的生活之余，对。It's a relief to know that you have striking a balance in your college life. What about internship? Because that's something that I think we should talk about. Let me explain that to the students here in Taiwan. 要跟大家说的是，我们接下来要讨论的是什么呢？我们接下来要讨论的是 internship. Internship 的意思是，在美国的大学生，他们多半会在暑假的时候，去找一个企业或是公司实习。所以那个是intern 那个字，实习生那个字。这件事情跟台湾不太一样。台湾我知道很多学生他们会在暑假的时候去打工，就 they would take part-time jobs here in Taiwan, but that's actually different from an internship. 所以这个是接下来我希望郑颖可以好好聊一聊的东西。对，所以郑颖 ，can you talk about this internship thing and what kind of internship with your friends would actually apply?
Yeah, so a lot of me and my friends we go to an engineering school, we're engineering majors, so of course we would apply to more engineering oriented internships, and these are basically around 3-month-long experiences where you go and you live next to where the company is, and then you go in and you actually work on stuff with the workers there, and usually there's someone there to mentor you and guide you, so you kind of have a feel of what you're working on, and these 3 months you kind of get to test whether you like what you're doing and like the path you're on, or if you want to do something else. So a lot of
Sorry, can I translate for a while? 刚刚郑颖说的这个很棒，就是他们其实这种工程类科的学生，他们其实在暑假找 internship 找实习工作，其实也会顺理成章、理所当然的找一些工程相关的工作。那郑颖自己的觉得是，当你去这些公司去实际去工作，去有 mentor 然后会有人带着你，类似师徒制这样子，然后让你去了解那个行业、了解那个产业的时候，他觉得比较像是让你再次确认，你是不是真的很喜欢这个领域，然后是不是以后真的还要在这个领域工作，或者是你想要在这个领域里面做什么样的事情，这个都是在 internship 的时候可以去好好思考、去确定的东西。Please continue.
Yeah, so like Miss Daisy mentioned, there's a lot of kind of people applying to these work experiences. So usually you would apply in the fall, and then you would hear back by January maybe, and then you would sign your offer or accept your offer for the next fall. The unique thing is you can actually intern in the spring or fall as well. A lot of people just skip a semester of school to go intern, or take on a semester of school in the summer. So I think that's a big point.
刚刚郑颖说了一个，就是虽然一般像我以为美国的大学生的 internship 可能是暑假3个月，但是刚刚郑颖有提到说，其实有的人的 internship 甚至可能是一整个学期，就他一整个学期实际上都是在做实习的工作，他并没有回到学校上课，这种也是有的。
Yeah, and so the process of applying to these is our school have these career fairs where you can go and you can talk to the people working at the company, these recruiters, and you can kind of sell yourself to them. You can kind of say, I have these skills, this is what you're looking for, I'm really interested in your company, and this is why. And then a lot of times they'll give you a second interview, stuff like that, and then you just keep moving on with the process. So that usually happens in October through December, I would say. But a lot, like the timeline is very it's kind of all over the place. A lot of people I know interview in the spring, like a couple months ago. A lot of people I know interviewed last fall. So it's just about like either applying online or talking to someone in person, and then kind of like selling yourself to that person and like telling them your skills, and then yeah.
刚刚郑颖提到了一个我觉得跟台湾又有点不太一样的地方，比如说我知道在台湾的大学也是会办 career fair， 就所谓的职业博览会，就是会让企业来学校，然后让大学生有机会可以直接跟这些企业派来的代表做互动。然后刚刚郑颖说 you can sell yourself， 就是你可以在这个时候去好好推销自己，可能给他看你的履历啦，或者跟你说你很有兴趣在这样子的公司，在这样的领域去做实习工作。他说郑颖说，通常如果对方也觉得不错，你也觉得很 OK 的话，他们就会有 interview 的机会，然后这个 interview 可能会是这个面试可能会在线上，或者是真的要你实际本人去都有。然后郑颖的意思是说，大部分的人都是从 fall 秋天，也就是说大概就是刚进大学不久，然后他们就会开始去丢履历啦，然后或者是去面试啦。但是郑颖说也会有人是到春天的时候，也就是说可能最近这几个月，然后他开始才去丢履历，然后才开始有面试。所以他说这个时间拉得蛮长的，然后每个人经历的时间带都不太一样，但是终究最后去的时候是去6月、7月、8月这个时间点，然后去实习。对 ，That sounds, I mean, challenging. I mean, you get to apply and then you wait for the company's reply and they get to have interviews and maybe not 1 or 2 or maybe more, and then you wait for their final announcement. How do you feel during that process? I mean,
yeah, so it's a lot like college applications, which is, it's like kind of, it's very nerve-wracking, but it's kind of exciting at the same time. I got pretty lucky with, I went to career fair and I talked to someone, and then that thing turned into an interview, and then turned into the second interview, and then it kept going. Eventually I had to apply online, but like I talked to the person first, and then I applied online. So like I built the connection first, and then I like kind of submitted my resume and everything. But I know a lot of people, to give themselves like the biggest percentage chance, would just like spam applications, like submit like maybe like 100. Like, kind of like applying to colleges, like a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I know people that applied like 20, 30. Just like give themselves the best chance.
刚刚郑颖有说，他说其实这个过程，因为刚刚大家听到应该有概念哈，就他其实有时候拉蛮长的。然后他郑颖自己是打个比方说，很像当初在美国申请大学的那个过程一样。然后他用了 nerve-wracking， 就是其实有时候真的会让你整个人很崩溃，就是你一直在等那个回应。然后郑颖的意思是说，他自己的话当初很幸运，他在 career fair， 在那个职业博览会的时候就已经跟那个公司的代表有聊过天，是很顺利的就有了interview， 而且他实际上在后来线上丢履历的时候，也立刻就可以得到对方的回应啊、联系啊什么的。但他说其实是有同学或朋友还有听说是 spam their resumes， 就是他们是用丢垃圾信件的方式，比如说有的人可能一丢了100封，然后去100个工作机会那边去看能不能够乱枪打鸟，然后得到一个机会。但他说确实也有其他同学没有到这么极端100封，可是可能也有丢了20个或30个履历的。他说这确实是一件对他们来说很不一样的体验。I mean， 郑颖 ，you have tried so many things and you have experienced so much. I mean, do you find yourself different from back when you were in high school? And is it good or?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely good. I think I've grown the most this last year, with everything, with study habits, learning how to deal with things on my own, how to live on my own, like being independent and like taking care of like everything almost on my own. I think that's really given me like the different perspective. In high school, like I tried to be independent, but I was still under my parents' wing, you know, like I still, you know, ate dinner with them, everything. But going to college, like knowing pretty much no one there and having like make new friends and everything was a big learning curve on how to be more proactive in talking to people and not being scared of like new situations. And I honestly like met a lot of new people this year that kind of like pushed me to do the same. That's like I think what I like the most about the environment of college is there's people that will push you. I actually went to career fair because I heard about it and I knew a friend that was also going, so we actually went together. So that was like less nerve-wracking that I had someone to go with, and then kind of like see what to do.
So it's not peer pressure, but peer positive influence on you. In a way.
Yeah, it's positive peer pressure.
因为刚刚郑颖说，因为我知道郑颖他其实是跨越了几乎大半个美国去念大学，so 郑颖 is obviously on his own for the past year。然后刚刚郑颖的意思是说，其实，在高中的时候，他也不是不想独立，可是很明显的，你就还是跟爸爸妈妈住，爸爸妈妈也还是会打理你的一切，包括三餐。所以实际上在高中的时候，他并没有那么觉得自己是要靠自己但是刚刚郑颖有说，其实，在大学他真的是 on his own， 他真的是靠自己在过生活。但是郑颖刚刚另外提到的我觉得很棒的东西，郑颖说，当然到了新环境，他开始觉得一切都要靠自己，但是他说是有很多很棒的朋友的，所以像比如说去那个 career fair， 能够之后很顺利的找到实习，都是因为有朋友也要去，然后他就觉得说，那就一起去吧。然后我觉得这是一件很棒的事情，就是所以我刚刚跟郑颖说，不是 peer pressure， 不是同侪压力，而是 peer positive influence， 而是同侪的正向影响。对，所以 I think。Yeah, I would say that friends play a really crucial role in college. I mean, even I myself definitely have built some really precious, long-lasting friendship back in college. Oh, in a way, Zheng, I'm happy for you. You're fortunate. I mean, to have, friendship is something.
Yeah, I got very lucky with kind of like I made a lot of friends, and a lot of them actually are from Georgia, so they live near school. So when I was moving out, I had to move out by myself because I was flying. And I had like a bunch of stuff that I just left with friends there. So like, having people that can like help you out and everything.
As you know, in Chinese we say 在家靠父母，出外靠朋友. That's exactly what happened to you. 因为郑颖说，其实因为他等于是离乡背景去念大学，可是他的朋友里面其实有很多是 Georgia， 就是乔治亚州自己当地人，所以对他们来说，如果是放假的时候，就只是顺便回家而已。但是对郑颖来说，他可能就要坐飞机或者开很多个小时的车才能够回家。所以郑颖说，其实回来过暑假之前，其实就是把东西留在朋友家。对 ，That proves once again how important friends are. 对，Another thing that I would like to know how Zheng Ying thinks would be ChatGPT. Let me explain that a little bit to my students, the Taiwanese students. 要跟大家说的是，其实我刚刚有请郑颖想想看，可不可以讲讲看他自己看 ChatGPT， 因为大家都知道说，其实 ChatGPT 从去年的感恩节过后，然后开始出现，大家都说是横空出世，就是 it's like it pops out of nowhere 这样子，然后大家开始要去思索怎么去把它当工具使用，然后要怎么去规范这个使用，然后也不要让它变成好像是主宰了我们，而是我们去好好的利用它。So that would be an issue, a global issue, I would say, not just in Taiwan, but also in America and other countries. So, I mean, as an engineering major, I would really like to know Zheng Ying's view on this whole trend. Can you talk about this?
Yeah, so from the perspective of an engineering student, I think I was pretty skeptical at first of the technology because it made it really easy to like cheat on homeworks, basically. I think it makes it very easy to cheat on homeworks.
That's my biggest concern as well.
Yeah, but our school has like in the software that we turn in homeworks with, you can't just use ChatGPT to write your essay because it'll detect it on itself. But I think I recently got ChatGPT because I was taking a chemistry course actually, and I realized that ChatGPT, when you use it correctly, can be a really valuable teacher. I think of it as Google, that it's like Google that sums up everything very precisely and then processes it back to you in a way that you can understand very easily. So sometimes I would type, perhaps not even in chemistry, but also in my engineering courses, I would type explain XXX in terms to a 13-year-old or to a 14-year-old. And then I would type this so that it would explain to me in a way that was really simple. And then I felt that I could learn from this a lot faster. When let's say in class, professor says something, I don't understand it, I would just type, please explain this to a beginner or like to a 15-year-old. And I think that's what, how I use it. and I think it's very useful that way.
郑颖刚刚说了一个我觉得很有趣的，郑颖说一开始的时候在知道 ChatGPT 这个东西的时候，他的态度也是 skeptical 就是好像有点怀疑，有点谨慎，就是不知道该怎么看待这个东西。但他说他自己后来有试着去使用 ChatGPT， 他的心得是他觉得 ChatGPT 不失为一个好老师，因为刚刚郑颖说，比如说在他上化学课的时候，然后比如说他有一个观念啊，或者有个什么东西不懂，他说他就会在 ChatGPT 那边打一个 prompt 就是指导语，然后他会在 prompt 那边打说，请把这个东西解释给一个3岁小孩听，或者请把这个东西解释给一个初学者听。然后他说，通常可以瞬间立刻，然后就得到了非常非常浅显易懂的说明，然后就可以立刻的去消化吸收。郑颖 I think that's definitely a wonderful way to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is to not depend on it for like homeworks or assignments. Because at the end of the day, like for me, like as an engineer, I want to be able to think on my own and like be able to come up with creative stuff. But I think using it as a tool is the future. I think for my classes because it's just a really concise Google search engine. And I think I can utilize that and like make myself learn more efficiently because I get information in a better way.
郑颖刚刚说，其实他自己会把 ChatGPT 当作是一个 tool， 当作是一个工具，而且是一个 concise， 一个很精简版的 Google， 就是它可以让你在最快速的时间之内，然后得到最迅速的且最完整的回答。所以他说是可以把它当 Google 用的，但是是一个老师等级的 Google， 而且它会迅速的就给你想要的资讯。That's a really good take. I mean, on this whole trend.
I think it's a lot of people from my school say you can't really stop how fast AI is progressing. And I can see how it can be bad and good, especially if it can start predicting the future and stuff like that. But I think the positive aspects are really good as well. Now people in the past with access to internet and a computer can already learn via YouTube, something like that. But now they have a personalized tutor for free. Basically.
Yeah. I think that's I also agree that artificial intelligence or any technological trends are unstoppable, but we do need to approach them with caution or try to think twice about what we can do with these wonderful tools. 对，所以大家应该知道说，其实刚刚郑颖也有说，其实这个东西它既然出来了，其实势不可挡，我们是不可能阻止它继续演化的，只是我们要怎么去好好的运用它，这个就是我们很需要去思考的东西。郑颖 I mean, you have experienced so much. I mean, as a college freshman, because some of my students are graduating from high school this summer. As a person who has been through all this, do you have any things to remind them or to encourage them?
Yeah. So the first thing is, everyone says this, but it's so true. Take care of your own health. Make sure you're sleeping enough and eating enough, and then everything else will follow. I think a lesson I've learned this year is to expect the unexpected. Like getting all 4 of my wisdom teeth out in the middle of the semester was really unexpected. So stuff like that's going to pop up. And there's certainly times when I did poorly on exams. But like when you see the bad score on an exam, you kind of just got to keep moving, keep progressing, and then go on to the next one. So the 3 biggest things I think is, take care of your own health, make sure you're sleeping enough, eating enough. When you first get to college, it's very exciting. Everyone is new, it's new experiences, and then it's easy to kind of let yourself go. And maybe like because you're excited about all this, you might start sleeping at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then start eating like foods you probably shouldn't eat every day, stuff like that. And then of course, like expect unexpected. Everything's stuff that you don't expect is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Maybe like, who knows? During the middle of your test, your calculator dies. I've had a lot of friends that that's happened to. But just like kind of laugh it off and be like, this is a good story I could tell someone one day. That's kind of what I try to do. And then so I think just keep those things in mind. and then just do your best. That's what I told myself the whole year. Like don't get discouraged. That was
Don't get discouraged.
Make sure you don't get discouraged. Yeah.
Always stay positive, right? Oh, never stop trying, right? 刚刚郑颖我觉得说的很棒。郑颖说其实听起来好像很老套，但是郑颖说是真的，就是 take good care of your health。说真的很多学生一上了大学之后，感觉好像就立刻作息颠倒啊，或者是乱吃一通。但是郑颖自己说好好照顾自己的健康很重要，而且刚刚郑颖说了一个也很棒的，就是 expect the unexpected 就是大学一定是一个新环境，然后会有很多新的事情发生。比如说郑颖说完全没有想到自己的 wisdom teeth 智齿就这样子发作了，然后必须要被拔掉，所以这个也是他这学期遇到的 unexpected thing， 就是不在预料之中的。他说他有很多同学则是在考试的过程中，他们的工程用的那个计算机，然后就这样挂掉了，所以你就是必须要 make do， 你就必须要赶快 improvise， 你就必须要赶快想办法处理它。但是刚刚郑颖说遇到这种情况，当然一开始你会有点冲击或者什么什么的，但是他说 you have to laugh it off， 就是必须要一笑置之，然后 and then you move on， 所以他说这个其实很重要。而且郑颖说其实这个过去这一年有的时候也是有考不太好的地方，可是他说就是 don't get discouraged， 他说遇到可能是学业上的或者是生活上的一些挫折，他说不要就这样子觉得很沮丧或者很挫折，他说你就继续尝试继续努力就好了。这个是郑颖自己在过去这一年实际上会不断的跟自己说的事情，而且郑颖也很用这个来期许今年即将毕业高中毕业然后要进大学的大学生们，然后要顺便跟大家说，就是如果有问题要问的话，其实可以打在留言的地方，然后我们可以让郑颖回答大家。好，所以 if there's anything you want to know, you want to ask 郑颖 about, then you can type it and leave it in the message section, and then we can get back to you. 郑颖 what about, I mean, like you have a really tight schedule on a daily basis. How do you keep yourself physically and mentally balanced? And I mean, do you still work out often? Because I know you're a passionate swimmer back in high school. I mean, what about in college? Do you still work out? Is it an important part of your life?
Yeah, so working out is definitely an important part of my life still. I don't swim anymore, but I go to the gym pretty often. It's right next to my dorm where I live, so it's like a 30-second walk, so that's pretty nice. But I see the question. I'll get to that.
Okay.
But I think I'm not sure. Like, I think the main thing for me was just I got really lucky with my schedule. So most of my classes were after 9:30. So I got to sleep in more than a lot of friends because a lot of my friends they had classes at 8 in the morning, and I got to like sleep in a bit. So I got lucky with that. That part of my schedule was pretty nice. And then I think the main thing for me was just Google Calendar, honestly. Like having reminders on my phone about like where to go at what time. I think that was really helpful.
刚刚郑颖有提到那个 Google Calendar， 好，所以他说他实际上因为有用 Google Calendar， 所以实际上他很清楚知道他每天要做的事情。然后刚刚郑颖说他其实幸运的地方在他的课大多数都是早上9点多以后才上课的。他说他有很多同学是早8的课，就没有办法 sleep in， 就是没有办法赖床。所以郑颖说这应该是他幸运的地方。而且他说其实他虽然高中的时候是非常认真而且厉害的那个游泳者，可是到了大学之后他不是游泳，到了大学之后他是去 gym。就是去健身房，然后去运动。他说他最幸运的地方就是他们的宿舍的旁边就是健身房，所以他实际上是很容易就可以到达他要做运动的地方。郑颖 some of my students, they enjoy their life in the dorm. I mean, sharing a space with several other people. But some of my students, they're actually saying that they actually want to have their own space. Like they would rather rent an apartment, right on campus or very close to campus. How do you think about this? I mean, for you, are you a dorm person or are you a MySpace person?
I always used to be like having my own space type of person. But this year it has shown me how living in a shared space can be pretty good because of all the people I met in my dorm. So a lot of my close friends are in my dorm. Like you share a kitchen, you share like everything. You get close to those people because you get to talk to them more. And then having a roommate has both pros and cons, of course. Like sometimes you'd be trying to sleep and then they might be up doing homework still, and then or like they're talking to people and it's loud. I just think of it as like an experience, and then you just move on. Like we kind of have this experience of like getting to know everyone. You might not like everyone, and that's okay, but at least you're exposed to like being able to talk to all these people, and then you can like kind of test it out. So I would say like freshman year, I would definitely recommend living in a dorm just to meet other people, being able to talk to people. That's like pretty important. I think especially if you go to a college where you don't know anyone, you get to meet a lot of new friends, and then make a decision at the end of that whether you like it or.
I actually feel the same way. I definitely recommend college freshmen to experience dorm life for a while. 刚刚我刚刚问郑颖的东西是，其实我知道在台湾的高中生或大学生，他们也有很不一样的想法。比如说，很多人觉得，宿舍生活很好啊，跟别人一起共用空间，很好。但是也会有那种 MySpace person， 就是那种觉得我就是要有自己的空间。然后郑颖的意思是说，他一直都是一个 MySpace person， 就是一个会希望有一点自己的空间的人。但他说，其实上了大学之后，他觉得可以有室友这件事，他觉得很不错。他说 ，You get to experience a very different kind of lifestyle， 因为他说，当然你说有 pros and cons， 有优缺点哈，但是比如说郑颖说，如果对方跟你的那个作息不太一样，那很有可能你在睡觉的时候他是醒着的，然后可能在做什么事情，然后可能发出一些声音。但他说就是你要先去经验这些事情，经历这些事情，然后你才能够知道你喜不喜欢。但他说如果是大一新生的话，他是真的很推荐住看宿舍。You get to know people first。对 ，before you decide whether you like them or not。对，所以我觉得这个建议很中肯的，也会是我会想给学生的建议。So maybe we should get back to the question in that message section. 对，大家有问题都是可以问的。对。
Yeah, so I got the internship fall of my freshman year. So last year, fall of 2022, I got the offer, and then I'm going to be working there this summer.
所以要回答一下，就是刚刚郑颖说到说，他其实是去年的秋天，我觉得大概他刚上大学之后不久，他就开始去申请这个internship 这个实习工作，然后他中间经历过了丢履历啊、回复啊，然后到最后确定，对，是这个春天的事情，对，就确定了。对，郑颖，I mean, I'm probably asking this question on behalf of my students. I mean, after they graduate from high school, they definitely look forward to having a new life in college. That probably includes love life. I mean, dating thing. Because for the Taiwanese students, they're not allowed, I would say, by most parents to date anyone or to go out with any boy or girl. What about in America? I mean, do your friends, do your classmates, they date a lot or
Yeah, so I definitely, there's a good amount of people that have relationships, I would say. Oh. I actually have a girlfriend. But yeah, so it's a mixture of both. I talk to my friends in Taiwan still. And some of them have girlfriends, and then some of them don't. I think it's just like less, I would say culture-wise, like less people date in Taiwan in high school. I would think that is true. But honestly, from my perspective, it's pretty like similar amounts. Because maybe it's because I go to like an engineering school and a lot of people there are like, like international or like from a lot of different places. But I think there are a good amount of people that, have relationships. But there's also a lot of people that just like chill alone. They're happy.
They're fine all by themselves 这样。
Yeah.
因为这里的意思是说，因为我刚刚问的问题，所以我很好奇。我知道在台湾其实高中生绝大多数是不能谈恋爱的，或者是爸爸妈妈不建议。然后到了大学，很多人都觉得说，我好想要赶快谈恋爱呀，然后我想要有男女朋友。然后所以我刚刚问郑颖说 ，What about in America？ 然后郑颖的意思说，其实在美国并没有人说高中不能谈恋爱，所以那也就因为他们一直都可以跟异性啊，或是任何你喜欢的人有那个男女朋友的关系，所以他反而不觉得这是一件很特殊的事。而且他说，其实，在大学确实有很多朋友，包括他自己也是会有男女朋友的啦。然后，但是他说也有很多人就 they actually chill all by themselves。 themselves， 他们也是单身的很快乐的，这样也是有。But 郑颖 I mean according to your observation or your personal experience, do you find dating in high school and dating in college different?
I think
relationship-wise,
for most people, for most people in college, it's more like I don't really know how, or it's more like you have more freedom to explore different places, right? Like in high school, you can't really like you have to ask your mom and like perhaps your
for permission.
Yeah, for permission. But in college, if you want to go to a restaurant, you can just go. If you want to go get drinks, you can just go. If you want to go somewhere, you can just go. So I think it's more like the freedom aspect of like relationships is like a big thing. It's new in college. But I also think that applies to a lot of things. Like there's a lot more freedom in college. Like maybe in high school, your parents kind of kept an eye on your homework and your grades. In college, actually, in America, your parents aren't allowed to see your grades unless you like let them.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
You kind of have that freedom too of doing what you want with your academics.
郑颖刚刚说了一个我觉得很棒的点，就是 freedom， 就是自由的重要。因为我刚刚有问郑颖说，那比如说在高中约会、大学约会有什么不一样？他说郑颖说不是只有约会这个，而是就所有的事情来看都是 freedom 的差别。因为其实在高中的时候，等于是你不管做什么事情，爸爸妈妈可能都会给你一些意见或者有的事情要爸爸妈妈的 permission， 要他们的许可。可是郑颖的意思是说，上了大学你就是 you're all by yourself，you're free， 对。然后所以他说是自由这个部分，让他觉得是高中跟大学最不一样的地方。而且刚刚郑颖说了一个台湾人可能会觉得有点惊讶，郑颖说，如果上了大学以后如果你的成绩单没有你的许可，爸爸妈妈是看不到的。所以爸爸妈妈，美国的爸爸妈妈实际上要有小孩的许可，才能够看到自己的小孩的大学的成绩单。That would be surprising, I would say, to most Taiwanese people. 然后我觉得刚刚郑颖提到的这个点 ，I mean, what you just mentioned reminds me once again of the importance of self-discipline. I mean, with so much freedom and with so many things to do, you gotta have self-discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, for yourself, how do you think, that works? Yeah. How do you train yourself?
For me, first semester, I knew like going into college, it was really important to get my academics on the right track. So I kind of focused on that a lot. And I knew that it was important to like surround myself with good people as well, like especially in a new start. So that was like a lot of what I focused on, especially academics. So I put a lot of time into studying. Second semester, I kind of figured out how to manage my time studying. Like being efficient and like quality studying is way better than like sitting there for hours and not doing much. So I had a lot more time to hang out with friends, go to like social events, stuff like that. But I think it's really important to try to put yourself and like get off the right step. And even if you don't, that's okay. But just keep it in mind, like making the right friends and like surrounding yourself with people that want you to do good is very important. Because with like all that freedom, it's important to like have people that sometimes will be like, let's go to the library and study. We need to study for this test. No matter what you want to do, we need to study. So like people like that, it's really good for you.
因为郑颖刚刚提到的是，因为我问郑颖说，如果这么的自由，那不就表示 self discipline 自律更重要了吗？所以刚刚郑颖的意思是说，其实他刚上大学的时候，他其实就有跟自己说学业很重要，所以他实际上是花了很多的心力在学业上面。然后郑颖的意思是说，到了下学期，他开始觉得说，it's better to study more efficiently。to have quality studying， 就是反而读书重视的是效率，然后品质，而不是就只是好像一整天坐在书桌前或者坐在图书馆里头。然后刚刚郑也说到了一个很重要，就是 surround yourself with good people， 就是很多时候是你的朋友也会影响你。如果你的朋友也会想要好好念书，那你也会忍不住的也想要好好念书。可是，一旦他们觉得说就去好好的 party 就好了，那实际上你也很有可能会变成一个 party animal， 对。可是那就是 so it's actually very important。to select your friends in a way， 就是你必须要好好的去选择你的朋友，所以这个是我觉得郑颖的这个提醒，其实对即将上大学的大家也是非常非常好的提醒。对 ，I think it's a wonderful suggestion and a reminding to my students。对，郑颖 ，I mean。 do you have any vision or plan for your next 3 years in college? Because I know that you have spent a brilliant year in college, and now you're ready for your internship for 3 months, and then after you go back to college, you have 3 more years of busy life. Do you have any goals that you want to achieve, or? Yeah.
So, I think like one thing I've noticed. This is kind of off topic, but I've noticed that the freshman year of college flies by. It's probably the fastest year of my life. It just flew by, right? So cherish every moment, for sure. And I think that's what I want to focus on the next 3 years. Is I've changed my study habits and everything a lot. So I've kind of like figured out how I can like be able to go to the events that in high school and like before that I would like have to say no. Like maybe on Saturday. Like, for example, this year, a lot of my friends would go play, like, football. And usually I would just say, no, I'm studying. But, like, being able to, like, prioritize that and then give it as, like, a reward for yourself at the end of the day has made me, like, study more efficiently. And my personal goal is to, like, keep developing my study habits and be more efficient, along with, like, cherishing, like, memories with friends. I think I didn't really, like, have too many social experiences the first semester because I was so focused on studying, and I kind of forgot about like time really flies, and like there's only 4 years, you know, so you have to make the most of it, and that's what I've been like trying to do more and more, and I think that's like a future goal for myself is making sure I'm like making memories while like making sure my academics are still top notch.
我觉得刚刚郑颖提到的这个很棒。郑颖在一开始的时候有说，可能稍微岔开话题，可是他这一年的经验让他知道说，try to seize every moment, make every moment count。就他觉得其实他觉得大一这一年过得之快的，就 time flies by。他说，甚至是他可能这10几岁的人生之中，第一次觉得时间过得如此的飞快。所以他觉得，就因为这样的关系，其实你能不能够每天好好的把握，活在当下，他觉得是很重要的事情。所以他说，他接下来的3年，因为我刚刚问的是郑颖接下来3年有没有对自己有一些期许跟目标。那郑颖的意思是说，他一定会好好的去让自己的读书更有效率哈，因为他觉得这是一件很重要的事情，然后让自己的学业成绩都还是能够维持在 top mark 哈，就尽量可能是优秀一点的成绩。然后，但是在这个时候，他也会觉得 making memories 就是好好的跟这些朋友啊留下美好的回忆，他觉得也是很重要的事情。I think those are 2 brilliant goals. 对。
Yeah.
对。
So I think, like for me, like maybe you were I'm not sure, but like maybe you were asking for like my professional plans after college. Was that what?
I'm actually asking for any goals that you have. It could be, you know, professionally, or it could be,
Yeah. So I think I think I want to do a master's for sure after.
So you already have made up your.
Hopefully.
Okay. Right.
Well, at our school you can just do a master's if you have 1 more year of school. So.
郑颖刚刚的意思是说，
like a lot of people do.
郑颖说，其实，在他们学校的话，你只要有想要念 masters， 只要你有想要念硕士，他说你就是多念1年，就是4+1。对 ，so you actually spend 5 years and in the end you get a masters。所以他说，他们学校都是这样。然后郑颖已经决定要念 masters， 对，就是再多加1年。
我还没有全部决定。还没有全。It's definitely like on my mind because a lot of people there do it because it's a really good deal, right? An extra year of your life and then masters. So it's not really like I have to do it, but it's on my mind as like a potential plan. Before I start work, or like even further than that, maybe more grad school. So I think that's my profession.
Because 郑颖, like my Taiwanese students, if they're engineering majors in college, most of them would tell me that they need that master's because they would get better paid when they look for jobs. So they're saying, they're telling me that master's degrees are necessary if you think practically. It's something that you need to get better paid. Is that the same thing in America? I mean, do you get better paid because of that master's degree?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's like a driving factor, of course. You have to like consider that, but it's just like most people would say like doing a master's would help you like career-wise a lot, and just like most people for a job to be like very specific, you have to take that step and like do your master's. I think that's why it's like pretty common now, especially since you pointed out in Taiwan.
在留言的地方，我先稍微回答一下 Patty 的问题。要跟 Patty 说一下，郑颖有点特殊，郑颖其实不算 international student， 因为郑颖实际上很小的时候就去美国了 ，so he's actually an American student， 只是说 he's an Asian American， 所以确实郑颖的身份是亚裔的美国人，这件事情说不定是一个 something that maybe 郑颖 can talk about as an Asian American in America.
Yeah, so I actually have a lot of international student friends. So I would say like for them, I talk to them a lot about their experiences. It's pretty new for most people, but at the end of the day, like you're an international student, right? There are so many other international students that you can bond with and talk to, and people in the U.S. that like from different places. No one kind of knows each other at the beginning. So the first day of school, you kind of like walk in and you just meet all these people from different places. So like there's a lot of people you can talk to and want to talk to you in that aspect. And there's also a lot of events for international students. Like there's a bunch of like there's like I know for one I went to an event for like Latin America. So like people from Brazil, Mexico, all of like Latin America. There was like a lot of events for those things and those clubs that you can bond with people too. I think maybe there is like a culture, a difference in culture between perhaps like your home country and the U.S. But I just take it as like a new experience. For me, I feel like I'm like when I first arrived, I felt like an outsider, like from the school, just because like I didn't know anyone at all. So it was like hard I would say it was hard at the beginning, but I'm really, really glad I did it. So I think that's with anything though. Like it's going to be pretty hard at the beginning, but once you get past that initial phase of meeting everyone, saying hi, my name is, then you can kind of like develop more friendship
and kind of blend in gradually. 因为刚刚郑宇的意思是说，其实他自己小时候刚到美国的时候，他也觉得有一种 outsider 的感觉，就有一种好像局外人，就是跟这些其他的同学相比。可是他的意思是说 ，it was hard at the beginning, but then you gradually adapted and you blended in。所以他说，其实融入这件事情，当然你说一开始你当然要先过掉那一段自我介绍的那段时间，但他说其实你是可以终究是可以融入的，这个倒是没有问题。而且回去回答刚刚的那个问题，郑颖的意思是说，他实际上在大学也遇到认识了很多 international students， 很多国际学生。他的意思是说，其实在他们学校很多很多的国际学生，然后所以大家都是来到这个新环境，大家都是新的嘛，所以我们就是都需要好好的认识彼此。而且郑颖的意思是说，其实学校也会有很多很多的 events， 会有很多的活动，然后会让你有机会可以去 break the ice in a way， 就是可以去好好的破冰啊，然后去交朋友啊，然后去让别人认识自己，然后你也认识别人。比如说他说像很多拉丁美洲的同学，他们就会办那种类似台湾说的拉丁美洲周或者拉丁美洲月，就是 you get to attend events and you get to make friends there or give other people an opportunity to get to know you。所以他说其实倒是不用太觉得好像要 blend in， 就是要去融入他们是一件很难的事情。其实 you have tons of opportunity to do so if you want to blend in。对，所以这个倒是可以回答大家的。
Yeah, so I think like in general, college students are very accepting of like people of like different cultures, different countries. So I would say like especially in college, if you're asking for like the part that is the most difficult, is just the initial phase of meeting people. Like meeting new people, I think is the hardest part. After that, everyone is like pretty accepting and like very like nice. I would say people are like really nice.
因为郑宇的意思是说，大概在新环境吧，比如说像大一这一年，真的难的就是难在一开始 getting to know people or letting people to get to know you。他说是那一段时间要先过去 ，it could be kind of awkward, right? I mean, for you to get to meet people you don't know, or for people you don't know to get to know you。他说，可是那段时间过去之后，其实就很 OK， 大家都是很接纳，然后也都很能够互动，所以郑颖倒不觉得会有一整个一年都不愉快的这种事情，倒是不会，就是你就是要过掉一开始那个 phase 那一段阶段。对，这里 I know you're home for a very short vacation and you're moving on to your internship. Do you look forward to it? I mean, do you?
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for work. I came home for a week, and I'm actually driving tomorrow to go to work.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's a whole different experience. And of course, like, it's just like a new place to go to as well. So I think that's like the biggest excitement is like being able to experience like working, like actually working. I think it's something that I'm really looking forward to.
To actually start working, that's definitely a brand new experience. 因为我刚刚问郑颖说，因为他接下来他只是刚好短暂回家一下子，然后刚好可以有机会可以跟我连个线。但是其实接下来郑颖有3个月的时间是要去实习，而且他是要明天自己开车对去另外一个州去实习。所以郑颖说他其实是很期待可以去实际的去工作，然后去体验接下来的3个月。然后郑颖 I would say that I actually look forward to maybe live streaming with you again. Maybe at the end of the year during Christmas and when you get back or when you have more time and we can know more about your internship stories and
So I think one thing I'm actually looking forward to is like learning how to cook and like meal prep by myself. Because freshman year of college, we all had to buy the dining court plan at college, so I didn't really get to cook by myself. So I'm like pretty excited to like start living on my own in my own space and like cooking.
那个刚刚郑颖提到了一个，对 ，I forgot to ask you about this. This is actually important. 刚刚郑颖说那个 dining court，就是他们实际上是有食堂的，然后他们实际上有 dining court plan，就是实际上你会在学期初的时候就先花钱，然后某种程度是买 coupon in a way， 就类似买餐券那样子，就是你其实就是每天去食堂，然后你就是用你本来付的钱，然后去吃那些东西。But do you like the dining court food? Not so much.
No. So the dining court food, I'm not a picky eater, but I would say it's not the best for sure. For the end of the semester, it was like it got not that good. So I'm pretty excited next year to be able to cook and like control what I eat, basically.
郑颖刚刚说他已经不算挑食，就是 he's not a picky eater， 他已经不算挑食的人，但是他都觉得那个 dining court 的那个食物，不是那么的吸引人跟令人满意。所以郑颖说，他其实接下来数一数二期待的事情是 he gets to cook by himself， 他可以好好的开始精进自己的厨艺。I'm happy for you to be able to finally cook on your own, to cook the dishes that you like。所以我其实是很祝福跟很为郑颖开心，说他接下来可以好好的自己煮，这真的很重要。对。But do you think you have the, I mean, for the next 3 months as an intern, do you think you have the time to actually cook by yourself?
Yeah, so the work is like a typical 9 to 5. So I'll get off work, I think, and then I think I'll have time to. I think what I'm gonna do is on weekends I'm gonna cook a lot of food and then store it in the fridge and then eat it during the week.
That's what most students do, yeah, in college. The ones that I know. 郑颖刚刚的意思，因为我刚刚问他说，实习这3个月真的有办法自己煮吗？然后郑颖的意思是说，他的实习工作是典型的9 to 5，就是朝9晚5，所以他是绝对可以有时间可以煮。但他说，可能更棒的策略是在周末的时候煮好1个礼拜份，然后这1个礼拜都可以吃自己预先煮好的东西。That's a smart thing to do. 对，所以郑颖 ，I'm so happy talking to you today. 对，今天我真的是很开心可以跟郑颖连线。那不知道大家有没有什么还有别的问题想要知道或者想要问郑颖的 ？Because this is a very precious opportunity. 对，所以 if you have anything to ask 郑颖 or is there anything that you want to know, you can ask. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He is an amazing young man. 那大家如果没有别的问题要问的话，我们可能今天的直播就到这里。But I really wish you a wonderful internship, and I look forward to live streaming with you again, maybe at Christmas.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. 到时候
I'll be super down for that. So.
郑颖
Let me know.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
And I'll
Thank
say
you so much, Miss Daisy.
I'll say good night to you, right? It's good morning in Taiwan, but I know it's good night to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. 谢谢听我跟 Miss Daisy 讲话。好，下次见。
下次见，郑颖拜拜喽。
拜拜。
拜拜。
All right, thank you.
Thank you.